Gurmagov. Háid dul raig go dtí an nuachlas mar sin. Agus háid a dul óheas agus níiad fá dul mór an níos fuide óheas ná an áit seo. Go dtí ard ó bhithigh agus rathbhairigh in... I gúnta... Gúnta chorcaí, OK. Cúnta chorcaí. Mar sin cáit ní bhúna, orla ní úlacháin, láir ag seaigh, méomhní chárthaigh, canar a thuúlacháin, agus Seosamh ó Súlahán. And they're going to do Clonakilty, God Help Us. Mar sin, chuirigí fáilte bhór ribh néamh Séamus as cúnta chorcaí. And it's lights down. And time starts now.
Mary, there's nothing going on with this COVID and I'm sick of it. Everything stopped. With no GA training, the young fella had another window in the house broke today. I don't know, was it a football or was it a schlitter? And sure, I can't get a minute to myself because himself is there the whole time with his working from home. The sooner he gets back to the office, the better for us all.
At least we've escaped it so far. But aren't you so lucky to have the company? I see no one from one end of the day to the next. Thank God we can still come here to do the cleaning, though. Did you ever think we'd be so excited to go to work?
Yeah, 'tis great, all right. Although we'd probably be making more money if we were drawing the old pup. Shh. And aren't we so lucky to be living here in Clonakilty? Isn't it mad to think that long ago it was one of the poorest towns in West Cork?
Yeah, we'd Skibbereen, where the grass is green, and Macroom, that never reared a fool.
And they used to say, Clonakilty, God help us. Isn't it mad how things change? Anyway, boss, what are we going to do today? There's no dirt in here. We're the only two coming in.
We'll do what we do every week, Peggy. Dust.
We'll dust.
Oh, I'm weak for this big fella. He's my hero. I've a lovely picture of him up beside the Pope. Oh, isn't he so handsome? Oh, if only I were around in 1922.
Yeah, and you'd probably be shot too by this lady. Whatever became of her?
Kitty got married, but she was never happy. And imagine, she did a life-size portrait up of Michael in her house. How would your man feel if you had a portrait of your ex in the house?
Maybe I should get one. Might shake himself up a bit. Oh, and sure, every time I hear that song from the movie, I think of her. Do you know the one? Oh, it will not be long now till our wedding day. Sure, the poor thing must have been heartbroken. A friend of mine used to sing that song below in the pub when we were able to go there.
This Boland fella also fancied her, but the big fella won out. Himself and Michael were great friends.
They were, as friends go like, but he sided with my hero in the end. Div. There was a picture of him beside the Pope in my parents' house.
Isn't it gas how we always follow our heroes in their parties to this day? But the good thing is we don't fight over it and can have an old laugh about it all. Now clean.
Yeah. And aren't they all the same now anyway? My father, God rest his soul, must have turned in his grave when that happened. And could you imagine the crack this lot would have if they came back to Dáil Éireann?
But sure, with all these COVID restrictions, we've less freedom now than they had 100 years ago.
Mary, I could have swore Michael Collins just winked at me.
Yeah, right. And I suppose Dev blew you a kiss.
Shouldn't I love it? Come on now, and we'll have our tea before we get in the middle of a disagreement.
And sure, I've Marietta biscuits in the press.
But I brought wagon wheels. Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel.
Calm down, Peggy.
Rock me, mama.
It's good to hear I haven't lost my charm. Kitty, is that really you? You're looking as beautiful as ever.
Oh, Michael, you haven't aged a bit. Oh, how I remember that fateful day.
Oh, Kitty, our lives could have been so different.
Oh, not this lovey-dovey stuff again. What are we all doing here? Where are we?
The Michael Collins Centre, Clonakilty. I bet you never thought you'd end up here. Did you, Dev? It's a bit of a surprise, all right.
This is truly, truly mighty. I'm delighted that I have a centre in my honour here in Clonakilty, God help us. Now, I'm not one to hold grudges or one to want to settle old scores. No sorries from me, but I'm happy to let bygones be bygones.
In the interest of peace and progress, I will also do the same.
Indeed, it is you who should be saying sorry, Dev. And as for you, Boland, you ran with the hare and hunted with the hound.
I'm sorry, Kitty. I'm sorry to you all. I only wish we could start all over again and have my two besties back together. And of course, you too, Kitty. Wait, what's that sign? December 2021. It's close to 100 years after my passing. Closed due to COVID pandemic. What's that all about?
Is that COVID like the Spanish flu?
A bad flu. I remember that well. Killed my cousins in America.
Hi, Dev, what's that joke?
It's a radio. It tells you news, current affairs, and there's music and drama on it too.
That now is some machine. If only that was there in our time.
I'll turn it on. We might get the latest news headlines to see what's going on.
Next up, the latest on women getting equal pay and gender quotas in civil service, and details of a big celebration to mark the 100th anniversary of the Aga cooker.
Don't mention that Aga. I felt I was chained to it when I got married. I had to stay at home, do the cooking, give up my job, and I barely had a vote. Oh, sorry, Michael, my love. You didn't know. I did marry, but I never forgot you. And I always loved you.
That's okay, Kitty. I understand. And I loved you too. And I still do. A woman as feisty as you being chained to the cooker. That now would be some sight. Dev, was that your doing?
Indeed it was not. My party was always very progressive and supportive of equal rights. But progress can be slow when done right. And when I left office in 1973, I had a lot done, but a lot more to be done. Oh, and did you know I was Taoiseach 3 times, 16 years in total, and I was president for 2 full terms. Can you beat that? Collins.
You were around for that long after us, Dev. I always knew you were a cute hooligan sending the buffoon off to do the deals.
West Cork TDs, Fianna Fáils, Christopher O'Sullivan, Social Democrat Holly Cairns and Independent TD Michael Collins met with local fishermen in Castletown Bear this morning.
My namesake is a TD for West Cork, 100 years on. But wait, there's no one from my party. After all my work, how in the name of God could that be?
Finally, the coalition government of Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and the Green Party sign off on higher COVID pandemic payments later today. Now, back to John for some more music.
That's worse. Or is it better? Collins and Dev, looks like both your parties are in government together.
Progress, my eye. It's like we're back in 1921. Things are just the same.
Not quite the same, Dev. Not quite the same. We're all talking now, aren't we? No fighting and no drama.
Seems like the current generation of challenging times. God knows, we had our hard times too. But we were taken too soon, Mick. Ní nárt go cóir le céile.
I've done more than my fair share for this country. Even though we're all the same in the grave, I'm happy to go back to my spot in Glasnevin.
Well, I won't be going back to Bale-na-Blah anytime soon. The last time was enough.
Indeed it was. And to be honest, I got great solace out of knowing that I was engaged to our country's greatest patriot when you died. I'm happy reading through your letters every day, Mick.
Slán Accarda. Sure, this is a beautiful place. Prosperity reigns in Clonakilty. And a place like this must be great for people to learn about our history, or even learn from our past. And not to mention the amount of business I'm creating around West Cork, 100 years on. Clonakilty, God help us, no more. If if I stick around, I'll ruin it for everyone.
Clear stage for Corkig.